Good morning. It is currently 7 a.m. on the West Coast, and we are ready for some gaming. Welcome, everybody, to the Osworld Cup 2024 Round of 32. Our third match, I believe, if we count the second match as one happening on the main stream right now, of the week. I'm Fiery Rage, of course. Going to be joined today by Vordy from good old-fashioned Australia. How's it going?
It's going fantastic, thank you, Fiery. We have a bit of a split time. You got Fiery at 7 a.m., me at 10 p.m. Perfect, recovering all bases here.
I love night casting and morning casting.
But yeah, Germany up against Singapore, seed 5 up against seed 28. Obviously, Germany favored, but Singapore is not a country to be fooled around with at this early stage especially. Plenty of these players, I think, are going to perform a lot better on this round of 32 pool compared to the qualies pool. So Germany's got to make sure to keep their guard up, to not slack off here. Because some of the Singapore players especially will be pretty good here.
I think everyone at this point is pretty familiar with the Germany roster. For the most part, the same as last year with the introduction of Fle. As far as I know, Ahoff as well. The only two new additions, the rest returning members. Singapore as well. Some familiar faces, GS Blank, Tebi, Eagle, obviously have been pretty much staples for the Singaporean roster ever since, I don't even know when, 2020 probably, if not sooner or later than that.
Yeah, I think there's 3 swaps here. I think they lost, in comparison to last year, lost Demonical, Yellow, and Amelia, I believe. And they got Hollow Knees, Makeo, and Wick. I think that is the comparison. And I think some of the players that they got performed pretty well in qualifiers. I think one really interesting thing, we'll talk about qualifier results. Germany, 2 big outliers, notably, are Kriller and Whitecat getting, I believe, 4th and 10th respectively in performance scores. Yeah, Kriller getting 4th, Whitecat getting 10th. Huge performances. Both players playing 18 out of 22 maps. Just really insane scores. The rest of the team still really solid, backing them up, but it's going to be those 2 players you're looking out for in Germany to just be your consistent high performers. On Singapore, on the other hand, you don't really have like a notable star player. It's just everybody playing pretty solid, especially for the seeding. I looked at a lot of their scores. There's some maps where the difference between their best performance and their lowest performance is like 100k, 50k. They're just really solid overall, which is, I think, a good thing for them, because I think when you look at this early stage, a really scary thing if you're, one of the lower seeded teams is being 4th manned on some maps. But I actually don't think Singapore will be. I think that's going to give them a good chance here to get some points.
Yeah, Singapore by far strongest on the hidden mod in terms of their qualifier results, so probably expect them to lean into that for the most part. Germany obviously new slot at hidden as well, but should be a fun battle between the 2 teams there in terms of bans.
Yeah. Hidden's interesting because I do agree. Relatively speaking, Germany, I think, had Hidden as one of their weaker pools, which is interesting considering their players. And they banned Hidden 1, which, as you mentioned, Singapore's best mod by a good margin was Hidden. I'm a bit surprised to see the Hidden 1 ban over the Hidden 2 ban, just because the Hidden 1 being a bit techier, a bit more flow aim heavy, I think would suit some of the players in Germany better, but I guess they feel that they'll have a better chance on the Hidden 2 in comparison.
Nomad 4 ban from Singapore, not too surprising. Getting rid of the flow aim. Germany has historically had a very strong flow aim roster throughout the years that they've been playing this tournament, ever since 2019. They've pretty much always had a very strong core for flow aim and speed in general.
Yeah, I mean, their flow aim roster in qualies was fantastic. I think got 3rd on the equivalent map in qualies for that slot. But yeah, I mean, pretty fair bans. Nothing to really mull over there too much. Singapore going to first pick here, and I think whenever you're in one of these matchups going up against a really powerful team that is probably going to be able to play everything to a pretty good extent, you always just got to pick for yourself. Obviously, when you're talking about some of the middle stage matchups, that's when you can counter pick into your enemy's weaknesses, but I think here, you just play whatever you feel the most confident as Singapore. And they go for DT1.
Quite interesting to see DT1 actually going into generic aim They didn't do too hot on that in qualifiers in comparison to some of the other maps like Nomad 3, but opening up with this, not a horrible idea. You're probably feeling a bit confident on this, just want to get it out of the way. Also worth mentioning, Double Time 2 is open, and Singapore did not really have the best speed scores, as well as Nomad 2 for that matter. Both of those maps are the core speed maps of this pool, so something to look out for.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't be surprised if Germany ends up just going into both of those. They have a great tapping roster. Funnily enough, I think they're two, I don't know if Kriller or Whitecat played either speed map. They did not, which is a bit interesting, but I think despite that, their tapping roster is fantastic. They have some really good tapping specialists who'd love to play the stamina and the speed this week. But I think Singapore going for DT1 here, despite the performance and qualities. It's a very different map. I think this is a lot more comfortable. It's a lot lower BPM. I think it fits a lot more into the kind of, farmy, comfortable DT1 that I think a lot of players are going to be a lot more used to compared to the quality DT1, which is a little bit more specialized. So I wouldn't be surprised here if they all just have really good locals. They all feel good on it. 4-way is maybe somewhere in the ether on the table, and that's the kind of performances you're going to need up against the German roster.
FS Jellink, I probably butchered the pronunciation on that. I am sorry in advance. Very well known for making, I wouldn't say very well known, but known for making pretty comfortable maps, all things considered. His maps have been in tournaments for quite a while now. I think about a year since he got into the mapping scene, so if you're familiar with tournaments, you're probably familiar with his maps.
Yeah. Interesting rosters here. We have Tim, Kakner, Kriller, Zeitfrost, and Yeri, so no Whitecat on the DT1. This map does have some elements of bursts, but that would be something Whitecat wouldn't be comfortable on. But we have Hollow Knees, Makeo, GS Blank, and Dawnwing for Singapore. It's a little bit interesting because notably lacking Tebi, who I believe did play every map in qualifiers, but maybe just, teammates feeling a bit better on the CT1.
Pretty lengthy map even after double time, 3 minutes long. So, somewhat of a consistency check alongside your general double time check.
Yeah.
Have some bursts and some aim. Your typical shtick for a double time one as we get into the map here.
Not even AR 10.3 fake DC1. I want to refund.
It's so true, actually. Early goings. Yeah, early goings. Yeah. Not really any issues here.
Really just a tiny accolade for Germany. Makeo just losing a little bit of accuracy, but shouldn't matter too much. Tim Kakner going to be the first player to break. Give Singapore that early advantage.
The accolade is what's keeping Germany in this for the most part, and what's keeping the score gap close. Dawnwing and Makeo not having the greatest of accuracies, all things considered, but does not matter as long as they can hold the combo, which is what they're doing right now. 4 FCs still to 3, approaching the third of the map done. The score lead is just going to keep on increasing for Singapore as long as everything stays this way.
Yeah, nearing the halfway point. There's the break. Tim Kakner actually slider breaking on that drop. And this is where Nerves of Steel have to come in.
That was a Bancho break, unfortunately, but he still did break, so he was just very frustrated that I think he was the only break at the break time there.
Singapore holding on.
They built up a 100k point lead, so they got a bit of leeway to work with. If one of them miss, it's not going to be the end of the world quite yet. But they just don't really want to give up this lead. No one's missing outside of that early Tim Kakner break. There's finally a trade from Hollow Knees, but like I said, 100k score lead. It's going to slightly shift over to Germany, but it's going to take some time for that to... Okay, never mind.
Yeah, the score lead will go fast, especially because Tim Kakner still recovering well from that early miss. Dawnwing as well breaking. That's going to break the lead. Singapore had Hollow Knees dropping again. It's just Makeo and GS Blank for Singapore. Meanwhile, Germany still holding a 3-way. all with pretty high accuracies. Tim Kackner recovering pretty well. And Germany's going to need to miss very, very soon if Singapore want a chance of getting their first pick. But unfortunately, yeah, I think that will be it.
Yeah, just that one slider break from Tim Kackner as well. That was so close to being a 4-way FC on the side of Germany. And unfortunately for Singapore, some pretty unfortunate misses at the very end there. Still above 800k, so not bad scores by any stretch. Just what can you really do against 3 FCs and an S rank? 4.35 million team score. Very solid from Germany on that, and that's an immediate breakpoint.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was still a good pick from Singapore. They played that map pretty damn well, almost getting 4 million total score. And I think that's kind of what you have to do if you're Singapore. You're up against Germany. Is just pick maps you're good at. But there's always that unfortunate thing where, despite playing a map pretty well, you have Germany here almost 4-weighing. It just gives you very, very little room for error.
I would not be too surprised to see Germany pick into something that they're strong at. Probably going to be seeing speed at some point in this match, is my guess. Don't know if they want to go for the raw mechanics checks of Nomad 1, Hard Rock 1, or just speed. We'll see what they opt to go for.
Yeah, I mean, the world is kind of their oyster here. I think speed might just be the, most dominant type of map they can pick, and they go for it. DT2, pretty classic. Just going for the high-end stamina mechanics. Mechanically one of the harder maps in the pool, and they have a great speed roster for it.
Senya and Double Time 2, name a more iconic duo. Here's your stamina speed check. A staple in tournaments. You always have to have a Toho round of 32 pick at some point.
Satellite Senya, my beloved.
Always a pleasure to see Satellite and OWC. Fairly consistently throughout the past couple of years, it's been custom mapping for the tournament. But yeah, Germany, pretty historically good on DT2, not really much to say. Singapore not having the greatest of qualifier results on this. I think this is probably, realistically speaking, going to be Germany's point unless something horrible happens.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much either Germany imploding on this pick or Singapore being significantly better at this star rating of tapping, which sometimes happens. You go from getting 400Ks to FCs if you lower the BPM or like the stream length by just a bit. But realistically speaking, Germany here should be pretty advantaged. This is just such a comfortable stamina map as well. There's really not much spiciness to break on. It's really just a tapping check that Germany will be able to pass with flying colors.
You got your core speed roster of Okinamo and Yari coming in for Germany. No aimbot cone, but we have Akarinia, also known as Tim Kackner, and Zeitfrost, more than capable of playing early stage speed. Germany as a whole just has a lot of players for this type of map, honestly. Yeah. So you could pretty much put any combination of the 8 players on their roster, and it'd probably make sense.
We have Tebi coming in for their first map. Player mentioned to play at every qualis map for Singapore. And interestingly enough, you mentioned Okinamo Yeri. It's funny how long Okinamo has been playing this game, and I believe in quals it was Okinamo who was like the tapping carry. I think FC'd 3 out of the 4 runs of the tapping maps. Almost you're getting a really good score on the other score, so sometimes it's the new player speed genetics, but I think in this case it might be a little bit of the veteran comfort here.
And Okinamo has been a speed carry for as long as I can remember in OWC. Him alongside Dust Dice.
Yep.
Have always been the German speed carries. Anyway, getting into the map here. Once again, another lengthy double time map, 3 minutes and 30 seconds after DT is applied. No one having any issue with that long stream for the first one. Accuracy favoring Germany quite heavily, obviously, but no combo breaks, which is the thing that is most important here.
Yeah, I mean, Singapore looking pretty good off the start, but you always gotta be worried on maps like this. Big stream GS Blank, the only one to break on it, but part of maps like this is just the stamina draining on you, your fingers wearing out as time passes by, and I do think the map's length will factor that in a lot, as we're only a third of the way in. Accuracy's around 96% for Singapore. Meanwhile, Germany looking a lot better. 299s, a 97, a 98. No breaks thus far.
That's just that one break from GS Blank. Kind of a repeat of what we saw in the earlier map where Tim Kackner was the one to break early. I don't imagine Germany is going to have a total collapse here, though. We'll see what happens. Half of the map remaining. The score lead is climbing from 200k. And just going to keep on climbing now with Tebby missing on that stream in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, 2/3 of the map done. Mikhail and Holonies, the only combos left for Singapore. And at this point, unless Germany drops like 3 combos soon, there's going to be very little chance for Singapore to come back.
Yeah, this is kind of what we expected. I don't know if we necessarily expected a 4-way FC. I mean, I guess it's kind of reasonable to expect a 4-way FC from Germany on their early stage DT2, but nonetheless, just those 2 breaks from Singapore, and not really much you can do at this point. I don't even think, even if Germany has a 4-way reset, it's not going to be enough to get Singapore back into this, and they all hit that. No issue whatsoever. Just seeing if they can close it out.
A good 4-way to start their first pick would be a nice moral boost, as unneeded as it is at this point. Unfortunately, Tim Kackner, the one to break again on back-to-back maps, and both times getting over 800k, but unfortunately looks like we'll be dooming the team to another near 4-way as Okinawa, Zyfrost, and Uriel hold.
No way, it's another 4-way S rank. That slider break is so tragic, man.
It is brutal. I mean, for Singapore, though, Holonies, Mikhail, both putting up really, really good scores. Nice FCs there. GS Blank, 700k Tebby. I mean, still, for a skill set that isn't really in their wheelhouse, as a 28th seed, that's a commendable score, but Germany is nearing perfection with that scoreline, so once again, not much you can do.
99.46 from Zyfrost and Okinawa on their FCs. Highest accuracies in the lobby by far. Overall, Germany just completely outclassing Singapore in accuracy on that map as a whole. Not really much you can do. Germany was just more comfortable on that. Go next.
I mean, with that win on DT2, I think, No Mod 2 is a pretty obvious pick. A little bit less on stamina and a bit higher on speed, but in the same wheelhouse of skill set. Singapore, though, DT1, they played it pretty well. Unfortunately, didn't go so well. I think what they need is a DT1-like performance from them, and just hoping Germany makes a couple more mistakes. Which is going to be, it's going to be up to Germany, but we'll see what Singapore goes for here.
I think Hidden 2 and Hard Rock 2, honestly, are their best bets here. Hard Rock 2, just because I think it might be worth playing into the precision being kind of, I wouldn't say RNG, but a bit more difficult than other skill sets to really get into. Hidden 2 is just more of a comfort pick for Singapore, I feel. And it's going to be neither of those. Freemod 1 is going to be the pick. A very old map. This is from 2013, I believe, if not older than that. Everyone knows RLC, famous Pretender mapper, and that's pretty much everyone knows him. That's what everyone knows him for.
That is wild to think that this map is 11 years old. Damn, dude. Time passes by quick. I mean, yeah, free mod map. It's AR9 OD8. In terms of the actual patterns of this map, it's pretty comfy aim. The thing that does make this uncomfortable though is the density, 225 BPM at AR9. Means on hidden, especially, you have to be pretty comfortable at reading. Hard Rock as well. The extra mechanics going from OD8 to AR10 will make it more challenging. I think this kind of map is just like, just don't fall asleep and miss on nothing. Is the name of the game here.
The ending does spike a bit. There's some space triples at the very last chorus that can trip players up pretty easily. By far, I think, probably the hardest part of the map, but the rest of this map is, as you said, fairly comfortable aim, for 2013 standards at the very least.
And it's going to be interesting to see who takes the mod on what. On Germany, I could imagine Okinama or Kriller taking the Hidden. Probably Okinama taking the Hidden. I'd never see him not play with Hidden if he ever has the option. And there's the White Cat. Yeah, love to see it. I could imagine Kriller or White Cat taking Hard Rock here. Depends on who. I mean, honestly, they could four mod this if they really wanted to. Like, you know, triple over mod. We'll see. But
I think Okinamo Hidden at the very least is a lock. Hard Rock, I think White Cat is the most realistic option, but they also could put it on pretty much anyone in that roster right now.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a Comfort Hard Rock Overmod if they feel like it. But it is going to be Flare. Interesting.
Yeah, like I said, White Cat, probably the most obvious choice for Hard Rock, but on these early stages, if you just want to get a very consistent no-mod FC, then just put your best players on no-mod, no stress whatsoever there. And that's exactly what Germany does, Kriller and White Cat. The no-mod carries on this map.
For Singapore, though, it's interesting. They went for double Hard Rock for GS, Blank, and Nikeo, likely just for comfort reasons. A lot of the times, the AR-10 will override the smaller circles in terms of comfort. It's going to be Eagle taking the Hidden.
Eagle's a pretty well-known Hidden player in tournaments. So, not too surprising to see him on the Hidden mod. More of a preference mod for him than anything, I think. But yeah, that overmod might be important as we get through the map here. Early miss from Okinamo, but outside of that, relatively stable, all things considered. Accuracy is high across the board, as is kind of expected, as this map has very simple rhythm for the most part.
I mean, especially as well for the non-Hard Rock players, it's OD8, but even with Hard Rock, yeah, the rhythms are simple enough that as long as you don't miss, you shouldn't be dropping too much accuracy. Singapore looking pretty comfortable. As you mentioned, you know, generally speaking, the overmod doesn't end up being the difference, but I think if there's ever a round where it can be the difference maker, it is round of 32, where a lot of the times both score lines tend to be pretty high, so that a multiplier could matter, especially if everybody's holding on, minus Okinama. You drop.
First chorus here was where the jumps start to really kick into gear. There goes Flea. 2 FCs, well, basically just 1 FC down on the side of Germany, as Okinamo more or less has an FC right now, just minus 50 combo. So, gonna be a pretty sizable lead for Singapore as we exit that first chorus.
Yeah, that break from Flea is big. It's a lot bigger than the drop from Tim Kakra on that first DT1, just because it was so much early on. Flea, meanwhile, breaking near the halfway point. White Cat! White Cat missing on aim!
The signature White Cat miss on air.
Oh, on an aim map of all things. I mean, that gives Singapore a massive lead now.
That's just Kriller holding on to the SS on no mod, countered by Tabby, also with the SS on no mod. Okinamo trying his best to get back into the map, but it just does not matter. Singapore holding on to their 4 FCs. They're just going to be running away with this lead.
I mean, yeah, you could say Germany is having a bit of a rough run on it, but Singapore is going off here, and the accuracies as well. I mean, Tevi nearing an SS, all of them still holding on an overmod as well. As you mentioned, though, the ending does have a pretty decent spike, but with a 500k score lead, I cannot imagine Singapore losing this pick.
Yeah, they'd have to pretty much 4-way break at the ending, and even then, I don't think that's going to be enough at this point. So I'll just see if they can close. Yep, there goes Okinamo. Eagle and Tevi traded, but it's not going to be enough. 2 FCs still to 1. This is all but over. No FCs on the side of Singapore, unfortunately, but they've done more than enough to secure this point for them.
Yeah, they got to the ending with their combos intact. Had some misses along the way there, but it's more than enough. And Kriller looking to be the only person to actually full combo this map in Kriller fashion, but the team is just not there. It's going to be Singapore getting their first point here.
That was actually a very solid performance from everyone on Germany on that ending. They just had really unfortunate misses everywhere else.
Yeah, that is pretty unfortunate to break. Have 2 drops basically near the middle. from Flay and Whitecat.
But hey, Singapore, team consistency wins out there at the very end. Overmod also helping a bit. Not going to be the difference maker in that case, but did at least help them to get a bit more score there. That's going to be 2-1 now, Singapore, so they get their own point. They still need a break point to tie things up. Hard Rock 2 is going to be coming out for Germany instead. Interesting. Okay.
Very interesting pick. As you mentioned, you were thinking of this pick for Singapore, and I was going to agree before they picked Fremod 1. As you mentioned before, Hard Rock 2, precision maps overall just tend to be a little bit more volatile. And I think as the favored team, you want to kind of avoid volatility generally. You want to pick stuff that's just kind of cut and dry. And especially after losing Fremod 1, mostly because of the Hard Rock. I mean, Singapore just had 2 players on the Hard Rock perform pretty well. Your Hard Rock player in the Fremod didn't play as well. Curious to go into this. As I say that, though, I mean, they could just be feeling really good on the specific map. It's a bit more techy of a precision map, which I think Germany's a really good tech team. So they could be doing better on this one.
The fabled best map in the pool. I love this map. This map is so much fun to play. Flask, a tournament veteran, I think. Those that are old in the Oz community will remember him for playing for Taiwan in the Arls World Cup for several years. Now is a mapper.
Yeah,
I mean, knocked it out of the park with this one.
I'm just biased to precision maps in general. I just love playing them. So I'm always like, yeah, the precision map is the most fun map of the pool, obviously. But I'm just, horribly 6.5 pilled. Yeah, Germany. Tim Kackner, Zyfrost, Flare, Kriller, no Whitecat again. Pretty interesting. Tebi, Mikhayo, GS Blank, and Wick for Singapore. I believe this is Wick's first map. Honestly, played the first one.
Fairly strong precision roster for Germany, so not too surprising to see them pick into this. See how it plays out for them, though. As we said, CS 6.5 is a very make it or break it type of slot, I think, for a lot of players. You can either go into it feeling really confident and completely miss everything, or not feel confident at all and then FC the map. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see which one it is today. Wick, the early break, not going to be the end of the world though.
6.5, you just gotta feel the vibes. Flare breaking as well. Obviously, part of an element of this skill set is you just have no real free combo. The circle size is too small for you to really just to relax at any point, especially this kind of map. So far, though, Tebi and Zyfrost trading is now Mikhayo and GS Blank up against Tim Kackner and Kriller for the full combos. Singapore actually having the combo lead, with the Wick recovering.
One of the shorter maps that we've seen so far, already halfway done. So those combo breaks are pretty massive, all things considered. Zyfrost again, Tim Kackner as well. And just like that, the score lead immediately shifts over Singapore as we enter a somewhat relatively slow section here.
Yeah, that miss from Tim Kackner in the middle as well is going to have a huge impact on his scoreline. The GS Blank, though, trades it a bit after Wick as well, losing that recovery. It's now just Mikhayo on the full combo up against Kriller. Kriller having that ACK advantage, and Tebi on recovery with that break from Mikhayo, though. Singapore has pretty much no combo, and Germany's going to take the score lead.
Here is a Kriller show.
Yeah.
We were talking about him being one of the best players on Germany, and yep, this is him proving it.
I mean, not just one of the best players in Germany, one of the best players in this tournament, full stop. I mean, the consistency of this guy to just pump out FC after FC, especially at this round. You can honestly have the expectation of any map that he plays that it will be an FC.
Just looking to close it out now with 99% no less. Actually, solid accuracies across the board for Germany on this. 99s from 3 of the players. Really strong performance from them overall on this. Just some unfortunate misses for Zyfrost and Tim Kackner. I think Tim Kackner getting another cider break, unfortunately. Also,
very
thank you, Flask.
unlucky.
Thank you, Flask, for that slider art at the very end. Very cool.
There
was another
huge,
slider break.
huge performance from Kriller with a very nice FC and another unlucky slider from Tim Kakner. Singapore, I mean, as they have been doing, has a decent performance. No real outlier bad scores, just solid overall, but very, very difficult map to stay consistent on, and Kriller is the only one who could really do it.
Yeah, Kriller is the main difference maker there. Everyone else hovering around that 500k, 600k range. Wick with a slightly below 500k, but basically 500k, and we'll just count it. It's mainly Kriller, the FC, making all the difference there. As Germany takes their point again, 3-1. Singapore still needing a break point to get back into things, but it is their pick. See if they can get momentum back on their side here.
You know, after winning the free mod 1, I wonder, do you stay in that aim lane? I mean, they could go no mod 1, they could go hard rock 1. They still, feel better on a more traditional hard rock. Otherwise, there's the hidden 2, on which, Singapore is a pretty good hidden team. It's their best mod category in qualies. It has to be somewhere around there.
I also would not be surprised to see free mod 2, honestly. It's a bit more of a kind of in the same lane as Hard Rock 2 with its precision. It's not going to be that, though. Free mod 3 is going to be the pick here.
Yeah, so sticking with free mod. Yeah. Having the comfort of having some players go hard rock, some players go hidden can be of benefit. A lot different type of a free mod. It's big circles, AR 9.2, CS 3.3, alt heavy. Both mods here, hard rock, obviously you're not going to get too big circles or too small circles. You do have to deal with alt patterns, having significantly bigger gaps, which can be tough. Hidden, on the other hand, it's AR 9.2, so it's pretty dense. So both mods adding a pretty decent degree of challenge.
Yeah, not really any comfort mod on this. I guess Hard Rock may be a comfort mod, just considering the high circle size, all things considered. Even after Hard Rock, it's CS 4.5 or around that. So not crazy.
Yeah, Hard Rock is definitely a comfort mod if you're able to play the mechanics that this map does shoot up to with that modifier. But if you can, then if you're just goated on the Hard Rock ult, this is probably gonna be pretty comfortable Hard Rock.
I honestly would not be too surprised to see some hidden Hard Rocks out here. GS Blank, hidden Hard Rock, even White Cat hidden Hard Rock if they really want to go for that. Would not really surprise me in the slightest. I think in general, though, probably just going to be seeing more or less the same mods that we saw on free mod 1. Tim Kakner going to be taking the Hard Rock in place of Flea, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, Okinawa almost definitely is going to go hidden again. Likely Eagle going hidden. GS Blank probably going Hard Rock. Not sure if we're going to see another overmodded Zeitfrost coming in instead.
Okay, he's probably going to be taking the Hard Rock then, I think. Actually, they could do double Hard Rock, now that I think about it.
Yeah, if the comfort's there. This is a map I could imagine Kriller being pretty good on Hard Rock, but also I can imagine him just taking the no mod comfort lane for the consistency. Gonna be Tim Kakner and Zeitfrost going the double Hard Rock, as you predicted. Singapore, though, opting for the standard one hidden, one Hard Rock.
So the opposite of what we saw in free mod 1. Roles have been reversed. 2 no mods on the side of Singapore, 1 no mod on the side of Germany. So Germany opting for the Hard Rock comfort on Tim Kakner and Zeitfrost. See how it plays out for them on this consistency alt pick. 4 minutes and 30 seconds, longest map we've seen so far.
Long one indeed. I mean, that is nearing like tiebreaker 5-minute length. I feel like alt maps are just always so long. No breaks in the intro. The max struggles notable from GS Blank on an 88, but I feel it, OD10 on the Hard Rock, you're just slightly off sync on the rhythm, I'm sure. the accuracy will go up. Is that 3 breaks? I think there was a cut on like a triple.
That was a 3-way break on Singapore on that triple, actually, yes.
Yeah, the cut from that triple off the break just jump scared all of them.
Thankfully, this map is long enough to where I don't think that will necessarily be problematic, but those misses immediately after are going to be, and this is not looking good for Singapore.
I would be less surprised if this was Germany's pick, but this is Singapore's pick. And I think you would hope for a little bit more consistency, but I mean, sometimes this skill set can just be brutally inconsistent. Especially compared to aim, I think a lot of the times, if you're just not feeling ult, can be a rough session, and here with 3 breaks, some struggle from 3 players on Singapore, Germany, not having any issues. Not a good start for them. Plenty of time, though, to have some magic happen.
$250K score gap, thankfully, with this long of a map is not entirely out of the question to come back from, but we're going to need to see some misses very soon from Germany in order for that to really happen. And it's just not looking likely, unfortunately.
I mean, you know, maybe we get a Tim Kackner slider break curse again. I just can't.
He does it at the end, so he can't do it in the middle of the map. He has to do it at like 1/3 of the map remaining. That's when he slider breaks. At least that's when he slider breaks.
I think he slider broke in the middle on the Hard Rock too, so you know it's not out of question. But right now, though, Germany is just looking unfallible on this free mod 3. Singapore is recovering pretty well. Tebby's still holding that full combo. The rest of the players holding on to their combo. So, you know, if Germany does implode here with like 2 or 3 breaks, Singapore do have that opportunity, but I just don't see that happening, really.
You know, this is a nuts performance from Germany overall. There is a decent recovery on the side of Singapore. Wick dropping the recovered combo as soon as I was about to mention that, unfortunately. Can't even think without having people miss now. But it's just not going to be enough.
Just simply don't think about combos. You know, empty your mind of the thought of holding an FC or any kind of recovering. You will be free of the curse.
And Germany has such a nice 4-way right now. It'd be horrible if something happened to it.
That would just be tragic. I mean, yeah. At this point, just have all FCs. You know, don't go halfway. Okay, never mind.
If something was going to happen, it was going to happen there. So I think Germany is just kind of going to run away with it now.
I think we cursed the wrong team because Tebby Eagle and GS Blank all broke instead of Germany. So that is the pick done.
This is actually disgusting. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. This is disgusting from Germany. Disgusting levels of consistency from the entire team here. Are we going to be seeing a 4-way? The first 4-way of the match. They got so close on DT1 and DT2. Are they going to pull it out here?
Surely, just no misses, no slider breaks. You got this, Germany.
And the answer is yes.
There it is.
Wow. That is gross. I feel disgusted just looking at that. My god.
I mean, on the free mod 3 as well, having an overmod on the Hard Rock, I would wager to guess this is probably one of the harder maps in the pool to get a 4-way on. And Germany insta-picking No Mod 2 right after. They are not giving Singapore a second to collect themselves after that loss.
And if we've seen DT2 and how that played out, with how Germany practically 4-wayed that, so I imagine we're probably going to be seeing something very similar here. I think they already have their roster in for this, actually. Okinamo, Tim Kackner, Yari, Whitecat opting to play on this one. Bit more of a burst-style map, so...
Yeah, I mean, I do think Whitecat generally is, you know, probably better at this kind of beat game, especially the burst. You know, I think he FC'd Josh into it recently, and I think that map's 240. So you can definitely play this one.
For those unaware, Silver Boxer known for mapping a lot of break core type maps, especially in tournaments. So break core naturally lends itself to speed. It's just kind of inherently how the genre goes. So Here's your speed map.
Silver Box, I mean, the Silver Boxer tapping is always just so fun to play. I think one of the most enjoyable mappers for the skill set. And I don't recall there being much in this map other than just finger control, bursty gameplay. Couple breaks, couple, sections to recollect your stamina. But we'll see what Singapore fields in. It is breakpoint, so this is their last, well, not their last chance, but this is where they have to start winning all the maps here to stay in it. Tebi, Mikhayo, GS Blank, and Hollanese in for this one.
See if they can manage to pull off something incredible here. I think Germany kind of going into this by far favored. But hey, anything's possible. We'll see what happens. Match point for Germany. Singapore need 2 breakpoints in order to get back into this, starting with this one.
Anything is possible if you believe. You never know, sometimes people are a lot more comfortable at this type of bursty speed compared to stamina maps like the ET2. Bit of a panic to get Tebi in, hopefully. Not sure what's going on.
I don't think Tebi's having a good time.
Yeah. Huh.
I'm assuming he is just playing. Tebi crashed. Okay. That's a problem. Huh.
It is a problem because I'm not sure what the abort rules are. Don't know.
It's past the point of aborting now, I think. Yeah. Oh, never mind.
There it is.
A bit of a late one, but got the abort in time at the very least, so Tebi is back, hopefully, for this match.
To be fair, I do think the message for the abort came in before the cutoff, so I think that should be fine.
I think barely. Bit of a late abort, but
yeah, definitely on the later side. Hopefully Tebi's client can get back into shape. I mean, I think other than Tebi, who obviously was disconnected, everybody else was holding on to their combos. But we'll see if we end up either get Tebi coming back in or if we end up getting different players sub in.
Tebi is the one that was locked in for Singapore, so if he's able to come back, he has to. Probably just taking a bit to get him moved into the tournament server.
Yeah. Apparently, their Osu keeps crashing, which is quite unfortunate. Especially for a pick like this, if they don't have anybody else who's comfortable in the tapping, it could be pretty rough.
Can't even launch the game is crazy. His PC is on fire.
Singapore asking for a sub, since it does not look like Tebi will be able to play this one in time. Linux users win minor inconvenience. Damn, dude.
This is the greatest anti-advertisement for a Linux I have ever seen in my life. Everyone's talking about the praises of Linux and how OS runs so good on it. Here's your proof that it does not necessarily run good on it.
I mean, who knows? Maybe something about the tournament client or getting into the tourney server just conflicts in some way.
Yeah, so we're probably going to be seeing a substitution for Singapore here, realistically speaking. unless Tebby can get his stuff fixed within the next couple of minutes.
Apparently he's back, though. Okinamo just spamming his keys to stay warm, presumably.
I wonder what keys he uses in order to tap.
Would not be MN, wouldn't it? No way.
Yeah, we were kind of ragging on Linux there, but there is a valid reason for using Linux over Windows. There's a lot less mumbo jumbo in the background. Windows has a lot of pre-built-in programs that kind of tank your performance overall. Linux does not have any of that, so.
I remember, because I remember Dummy was the first person I saw to like play the game on Linux, and apparently it's some like it just has better audio or more accurate like timing. Supposedly,
yeah,
I don't know.
Windows has some audio drivers, and as far as I know, some of them can cause delays in terms of like audio coming to your headphones ASAP.
Yeah.
I don't know the technical jargon for it, but.
But we finally get into the Nomad 2 for realsies this time, and Tebby's client is loaded in. I'm praying that it does not crash, otherwise I will cry. Same teams though, obviously. Nobody missed last time we saw this, so we'll see if anybody, after a good like 5 minutes of stalling, just instantly misses.
Oh, it seems like everyone's in at the very least, so it's already a good start. We'll see if everyone's still warm. Everyone outside of Tebby was remaining in the lobby throughout that entire break, so we'll see if that causes any warmth issues. This is a map that you definitely have to kind of stay warm for in order to be fairly consistent at it. Doesn't really seem like anyone's having any issues, though. There is a break from Whitecat and Mekao, but... Oh, Timcachner as well.
Alright, so a couple more misses than last time. But 1 for 1, 2 to 1, but very early on.
Okinamo as well, missing on that entire jump section, so actually quite a considerable lead for Singapore going into this.
Yeah, Singapore still holding 3 full combos, Mekao recovering. Accuracy is looking pretty good as well. Germany still holding the AC lead, but obviously the combo matters a lot more. If Singapore takes this will definitely be a bit of an upset pick considering how DT2 went, but obviously this map is significantly less stamina intensive.
Yeah, so far, very strong performance from GS Blank, who struggled a bit on that DT2, holding 99.4% right now. Not really having as much issue at all with this map comparison. Tebby and GS Blank going to be finding drops. That's kind of huge, actually, as it's 1 FC now to the side of the basically 3 FCs on the side of Germany, and this score lead is going to be immediately shifting over.
Had it been just 1 break, Singapore could have still stayed in it, but now Germany having recovered super well off some of the early breaks. Yeri still full comboing. Whitecat, Timcachner not too far behind Okinamo as well. It's just Hollow Knees on the full combo Mekao, and with a sliver of the map left, Whitecat breaking. Maybe there's a couple more chain misses, but I don't think that's going to be it. Germany to close this one out on their pick 5-1.
Bit of a scary moment there for Germany at the very beginning. Unfortunate slider break from Timcachner, but Yari, Whitecat, and Timcachner all holding on to the combo to secure that FC. Okinamo as well. Solid recovery. Just overall, solid, very solid team performance from Germany on that. And that's going to be doing it for this match. Germany wins it 5-1. No upset here.
Yeah, Germany winning at 5-1, but Singapore really solid performances overall. I think other than maybe like one player on the DT2, like honestly, Singapore had a good run of it. Couple close ones, especially on the DT1. Won that free mod 1 in pretty good fashion. And I think based off this performance, they should have a pretty good time in the losers bracket. But yeah, GG's to Germany. They will be moving on.
Still have one match going on right now. Philippines versus Malaysia. Currently 4-2. So tune in on the Us Live main stream if you want to see the ending of that. For us, we will be back in 9 minutes for our next match, which is going to be China versus Japan. That does it for me and Vorty for now, though. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.
See y'all later.